Chosen one, stop scrolling and hear this with your whole spirit awake, because what you're about to feel is not a whisper, but a spiritual jolt. What if the very place where you feel small, unprepared, or overwhelmed is the exact place where God is training you for courage and not comfort? What if today is the moment heaven shifts something inside you forever? In this Christian motivational speech from Spiritual Journals, I'm going to show you why God is pulling you out of safety, why hesitation can no longer guide your steps, and why the courage rising in you right now is the key to the destiny you've been praying for. Stay with me, because I promise you this: if you watch to the end, you will walk away with clarity, strength, and a holy fire that moves you forward with boldness. Before we dive in, subscribe to Spiritual Journals and turn on notifications to help spread God's Word. Thank you for being here. Let's step into courage together. Genesis chapter 14. Abram rescues Lot. In the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, these kings made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is, Zoar. And all these joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is, the Salt Sea. 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and defeated the Rephaim in Ashtaroth Karnaim, the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shaveh Kiriathim, and the Horites in their hill country of Seir as far as El Paran on the border of the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and defeated all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who were dwelling in Hazazon Tamar. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is, Zoar, went out and they joined battle in the valley of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goyim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of bitumen pits, and as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some fell into them, and the rest fled to the hill country. So the enemy took all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, the son of Abram's brother, who was dwelling in Sodom, and his possessions, and went their way. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and of Aner. These were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his kinsman had been taken captive, he led forth his trained men, born in his house, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. And he divided his forces against them by night, he and his servants, and defeated them, and pursued them to Hobah, north of Damascus. Then he brought back all the possessions, and also brought back his kinsman Lot with his possessions, and the women and the people. Abram blessed by Melchizedek. After his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shaveh, that is, the king's valley. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." And Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the persons, but take the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have lifted my hand to the Lord, God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, that I would not take a thread or a sandal strap or anything that is yours, lest you should say, 'I have made Abram rich.' I will take nothing but what the young men have eaten, and the share of the men who went with me. Let Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre take their share."
Chosen one, hear this with a soft heart and an awakened spirit, because this truth is meant to settle into the deepest parts of you. God calls you to courage, not comfort. And the kind of courage He calls you into is not the loud, dramatic public kind. It is the quiet courage of obedience. The kind that often looks like trembling hands and whispered yeses. The kind that rises inside you even when your chest feels tight and your thoughts feel scattered. This is where Christian mental health and spiritual courage begin to intertwine, because God knows that your internal peace matters just as much as your outward bravery. When God called Abram, it didn't come with a blueprint or a guarantee or a safety net. It didn't come with applause or confirmation from the crowd. It came with a whisper, "Go." That was all. No extra details, no promise of ease, no reassurance that the journey would feel good. God knew Abram's heart well enough to know that obedience would build the courage he lacked. And God knows your heart just as deeply. Abram didn't have the numbers to win a battle. He didn't have the advantage to feel confident. He didn't have the clarity to feel secure. His mind probably wrestled, just like yours does, between faith and fear, between trust and worry, between what God said and what seemed impossible. But God wasn't measuring Abram by how peaceful he felt. He was measuring Abram by how willing he was to step forward anyway. Maybe your mind has been heavy. Maybe fear has made your thoughts crowded. Maybe worry has made the future feel cloudy. That doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And God specializes in partnering with humans who feel overwhelmed yet still choose to obey. Courage has never been the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move even when fear is present. Courage is looking at the thing that makes your heart race and stepping toward it because God said so. Courage is lifting your foot while your mind is still catching up. Courage is not a feeling. Courage is a decision. And chosen one, that decision is where your breakthrough begins. Here's the gentle cliffhanger God is placing over your life right now. What if the miracle you've been crying for is hiding behind the very thing you keep avoiding? What if the blessing you've been waiting on is wrapped inside the assignment that feels too big, too scary, too inconvenient? What if the healing you've been praying for is connected to the moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions and begin moving with imperfect courage? God is not asking you to feel ready. He is asking you to trust Him while you don't. Think about Moses shaking in front of the burning bush, convinced he wasn't qualified. Think about Gideon, hiding in fear while God called him mighty. Think about Mary, confused yet willing. Think about Peter, stepping out of the boat when the waves were still wild. None of them had clarity before they moved. They found clarity as they moved. Your courage will not come from comfort. It comes from trust. It comes from the quiet belief that if God said go, then something miraculous is already waiting on the other side of your obedience. This is where your Christian mental health becomes part of the story. God is not ignoring the anxiety you feel. He is not blind to the weight sitting on your chest. He sees the nights your thoughts race faster than your faith. He sees the moments you want to be strong, but feel anything but strong. And instead of rejecting you, He meets you there. He holds you there. He whispers courage into the very places where fear once lived. The Bible repeats a phrase more than almost any other: do not be afraid. Not because fear is sinful, but because God understands how fragile the human heart can be. He knows how easily worry rises. He knows how stress can shape decisions. He knows how mental battles can make spiritual assignments feel impossible. And still, He calls you forward. God does not wait for your emotions to stabilize before He sends you. He sends you because His presence stabilizes what your mind cannot. Courage is not something you generate. Courage is something God grows in you as you walk with Him, as you breathe deep, as you lean on Him, as you let His voice become louder than your fear. Courage rises one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one breath at a time. And chosen one, you don't have to roar to be courageous. You don't have to feel strong to be obedient. You don't need confidence to start. You only need willingness. And perhaps the most comforting truth of all is this: God is more patient with your process than you are. He will walk with you through uncertainty. He will steady your heart when the fear spikes. He will quiet your mind when the thoughts get loud. He will breathe peace into the corners of your soul that feel tangled. And as you step, as you obey, as you lean in, something sacred will happen. Your fear will begin to loosen. Your thoughts will begin to soften. Your spirit will begin to strengthen. And the courage that once felt impossible will begin to feel natural. That's the miracle God performs inside the chosen. So hear this again, gently but boldly. Your next chapter will not be born in comfort. It will be born in courage. The courage to believe God is with you. The courage to take one step. The courage to trust the whisper. And the courage to say yes, even when everything in your mind says wait. You are not stepping into this alone. Heaven walks with you. Courage walks with you. Peace walks with you. And the God who called you will also carry you.
Chosen one, lean in with your whole heart, because this word carries a gentle weight meant to awaken something deep within you. Loyalty and covenant still matter to God, and this truth is part of your spiritual awakening. Not the kind that simply gives you goosebumps or a fleeting feeling, but the kind that realigns your soul, softens your spirit, and reminds you who you are called to be in a world that often forgets what faithfulness looks like. Lot didn't honor Abram. He took the better land. He moved near Sodom. He walked in self-interest and comfort, while Abram walked in sacrifice and trust. Lot benefited from Abram's covering without respecting it. He received grace he didn't value, yet Abram still showed up for him. That is the beauty and ache of covenant. It's not built on convenience. It's not built on fairness. It's built on character, love, and honor. Covenant love reflects the heart of God Himself. And here's the deeper layer that often goes unnoticed. Abram's loyalty wasn't about Lot. It was about God. Abram wasn't responding to Lot's actions. He was responding to God's nature. When he chose faithfulness, he was mirroring the one who remains faithful even when we wander, even when we forget, even when we take more than we give. This is where your spiritual awakening begins. When you realize that your loyalty isn't just a virtue, it's worship, it's reflection, it's alignment. It's you stepping into the heartbeat of the one who promised never to leave you or forsake you. Loyalty doesn't wait for perfection. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't ask if the other person has earned it. It moves because heaven moves that way. It shows up because God shows up. Your spirit grows when you choose to love like that. Something sacred awakens in you when you choose integrity in places others choose convenience. Something powerful expands inside you when you choose covenant in moments others choose excuses. And perhaps this is touching a tender place in you, because maybe you've been loyal to people who didn't honor you back. Maybe you've given support that wasn't appreciated. Maybe you prayed for people who didn't pray for you. Maybe you stayed faithful in relationships or assignments where you felt unseen, unnoticed, or taken for granted. Hear this gently. Heaven saw it all. God watched your loyalty when no one else valued it. God noticed your faithfulness when others ignored it. God saw the quiet ways you kept showing up even when your heart hurt. And none of it was wasted. Covenant actions are never wasted. They are seeds planted in spiritual soil that only God can water. And here's the soft cliffhanger hovering over your life. What if God is testing your loyalty in the very place you feel most overlooked?
What if the place that feels like rejection is actually the place where God is refining your heart for elevation? What if your spiritual awakening is happening not in the places that feel easy, but in the places that stretch your love, challenge your patience, and reveal your character? The Bible is full of people who were tested in loyalty before being trusted with destiny. Ruth stayed with Naomi and found Boaz. Jonathan stayed loyal to David and formed a covenant that changed history. Joseph stayed faithful in Potiphar's house and in prison before being honored in Pharaoh's palace. Even Jesus, in his humanity, stayed loyal to the Father's will in Gethsemane when everything in him was trembling. Loyalty is not weakness. Loyalty is strength. Loyalty is maturity. Loyalty is the soil where God grows glory. And when you choose loyalty in seasons where it would be easier to walk away, something shifts in the spirit. Something awakens. Something strengthens. That is where spiritual awakening takes root. It's not just the moment you feel God, it's the moment you reflect God. And watch how God responds to that covenant heart. When Abram showed loyalty, God showed favor. When Abram covered Lot, God covered Abram. When Abram walked in covenant, God expanded covenant. When Abram protected someone who didn't deserve it, God protected Abram with promises no enemy could break. That is how heaven works. God honors covenant people. God remembers loyal hearts. God elevates those who remain steady when others waver. God blesses those who choose faithfulness over convenience. And chosen one, God is about to show you that all your loyalty has been seen. He is about to reveal why He allowed you to walk through situations that tested your heart. He is about to show you that nothing you gave, nothing you prayed, nothing you stayed for was in vain. The spiritual awakening coming to you is not just emotional, it is relational, it is covenantal. It is the awakening of knowing that God Himself honors you because you chose to honor others. So breathe, take heart, let peace settle into your chest. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are not pouring into empty places. God is preparing a blessing that matches the depth of your loyalty. And when it arrives, you will understand why He called you to stay faithful even when it hurt. Your covenant heart is your crown, and heaven is getting ready to place it on your head.
Chosen one, breathe deeply for a moment, as if you are entering a guided meditation crafted by heaven itself. Let your shoulders soften, let your heart open, let your spirit settle, because this truth is meant to flow into you like warm light. God can give victory with small numbers, not symbolic victory, not imagined victory, real, undeniable, history-shifting victory. Abram stood before kings, armies, entire empires, and he won. Not because he was the strongest, not because he had the best strategy, not because he carried more weapons or more influence or more earthly power. He won because God fought through him. And that same God fights through you. This is where faith meets breath, where courage meets palm, where your spiritual battle becomes a moment of guided meditation shaped by the Holy Spirit. Close your inner eyes and picture Abram with only a few hundred men stepping onto a battlefield swarming with thousands. Think of the tremble in his chest. Think of the questions running through his mind. Think of the human fear that must have tried to rise up. And yet, he moved anyway. That is where victory began. Not in the sword, not in the strategy, not in the numbers, but in the movement of obedience. You keep thinking you need more resources, more reassurance, more signs, more support, more people to understand you, applaud you, or stand with you. You tell yourself you will move forward when you have more clarity, more finances, more strength, more courage. But hear this with tenderness. God doesn't need many. He needs one who obeys, one who trusts Him with trembling hands, one who moves forward even when the future is blurry, one who says yes even when the numbers don't add up. That is where divine victory is born. Lift this idea gently into your heart. What if the miracle you've been waiting for is already prepared? What if God has already arranged the timing, aligned the people, positioned the favor, and opened the invisible doors? What if heaven is fully ready, but earth is waiting on your first step? What if the victory is not delayed by the enemy, but delayed by your hesitation? Feel the weight of that question settle into your spirit like a quiet awakening. You do not need more to start. You do not need more strength. You do not need more reassurance. You do not need more people cheering you on. You do not need more understanding. God works beautifully with small beginnings. He breathes on the little. He multiplies the tiny. He transforms the insufficient into the miraculous. Think of Elijah on Mount Carmel with one altar while 450 prophets stood against him. Think of David stepping forward with one sling while Goliath towered over him. Think of the widow with her tiny jar of oil, pouring out more than she ever imagined. Think of the disciples feeding thousands with loaves so small they barely filled a basket. God has a pattern. He is attracted to the underestimated. He is drawn to the small. He steps into the impossible when our natural effort is not enough. And this is where your guided meditation deepens. Breathe slowly. Let this truth wrap around you. You are not too small. You are not too late. You are not under-resourced. You are not forgotten. You are not unqualified. You are exactly in the place where God loves to move. When your strength runs low, His power rises high. When your resources feel limited, His abundance enters silently. When your confidence feels shaky, His presence becomes your foundation. And chosen one, here is the cliffhanger hovering over your destiny. What if God has already prepared the victory, but He is waiting for you to move with the little you have? What if your obedience is the key that unlocks a floodgate of blessing? What if your small step becomes the spark heaven uses to shift your entire story? This moment you are in right now may feel insignificant, but in the realm of the Spirit, it is loaded with purpose. Because once you win the battle, once you step forward, once you obey with the small you have, God reveals the real reason for your assignment. There is always a deeper purpose behind your fight. Abram wasn't just rescuing Lot. He was stepping into a divine identity. He was proving his covenant. He was preparing to receive a blessing that would shape generations. Your battle is never just about the battle. Your obedience is never just about the moment. Your small yes is never just for today. God is preparing something through you, something beyond you, something bigger than what your eyes can see. So let your spirit breathe. Let your heart find a gentle confidence. Let heaven's peace settle into you like a guided meditation for your soul. You don't need great numbers. You don't need massive strength. You don't need perfect clarity. You just need a willing heart. God can work with that. God will work with that. And the victory you are stepping into will be a testimony of what He can do through someone who simply chose to believe that a little is enough in the hands of a great God.
Chosen one, take a slow breath and let this truth rest gently on your spirit, because it carries a weight of love and purpose meant for you. God raises you up so you can lift others. This is not a burden. This is not pressure. This is the holy calling woven into your design. Just as Abram didn't only save Lot, you are not only being strengthened for yourself. Abram stepped onto a battlefield for one person, but heaven used that moment to save cities, rescue families, and redeem generations. That is what obedience does. It ripples outward in ways you cannot see. That is what courage does. It multiplies beyond what you ever intended. Your yes is bigger than you think. This is where mindfulness becomes a sacred practice, not as the world defines it, but as Scripture reveals it. Biblical mindfulness is the gentle, intentional awareness that God is moving in every moment, every choice, every step you take. It is the calm recognition that your life impacts more than just your life. It is the quiet understanding that every small yes you give to God sends waves into places you never imagined. Imagine Abram that day. His mind was likely full of concern for his nephew. His heart was probably focused on the danger ahead. He may have felt fear, uncertainty, or even frustration. But in the middle of all those emotions, he remained mindful of God's presence, mindful of God's promise, mindful of God's history of faithfulness. That mindful awareness became his courage. That courage became his obedience. And that obedience became a rescue mission heaven had already planned. You have no idea how many people are tied to your obedience. You don't know how many hearts will heal because you finally choose to forgive. You don't know how many families will change because you decide to break a generational pattern. You don't know how many lives will find light because you chose to step out of your comfort zone and walk toward what God is calling you to do. Your mindfulness becomes the gateway to someone else's miracle. When you pause long enough to feel God's nudge, you become a vessel heaven can use. When you become aware of the quiet stirring in your spirit, the soft conviction in your heart, the gentle whisper in your mind, God begins to guide you toward people who need exactly what He planted inside you. This is why God raises you up, not just for blessing, not just for elevation, not just for personal breakthrough. He raises you to raise others. He heals you so you can bring healing. He comforts you so you can offer comfort. He strengthens you so you can stand strong for someone who can't stand right now. He pulls you out of the pit so you can return with ropes to rescue others who are still stuck. Think of Joseph in Egypt. His journey wasn't only about him becoming powerful. His rise was so he could save an entire nation from famine. Think of Esther. Her crown wasn't for decoration, it was for deliverance. Think of Moses. His encounter at the burning bush wasn't just for his own transformation, it was for the liberation of a nation. Think of Jesus. His resurrection wasn't only victory over death, it was victory for every soul who would ever call his name. God raises you for more than you can see. And here's a tender truth you may not realize. Sometimes the battles you fought were never about you. Sometimes the tears you cried watered the ground someone else will walk on. Sometimes the strength God is building in you is preparing you to be a refuge for someone still in weakness. Sometimes the peace God gives you is meant to overflow into the life of someone drowning in confusion. When God lifts you, He is lifting everyone connected to you. So breathe into this revelation with mindfulness and gratitude. You are part of something bigger. You are woven into a divine story where your obedience becomes a lifeline. Your kindness becomes a miracle. Your faith becomes a ripple that reaches places you may never personally touch. And chosen one, here is the beautiful cliffhanger God is writing into your life. You have no idea who will be delivered because you finally choose to say yes to God. Someone's breakthrough might be attached to your bravery. Someone's healing might be tied to your obedience. Someone's future might shift because your heart finally said, I surrender. And just when Abram needed it most, just when his strength had poured out, just when the assignment felt heavy, God revealed His heart. He showed Abram that he was not fighting alone, that his obedience mattered, that heaven had been watching the whole journey. And God will do the same for you. He will reveal His heart. He will remind you why He called you. He will show you the beauty of the role you play in His story. You are being raised for more. You are being lifted to lift. You are being strengthened to strengthen. Let your spirit rest in that truth. God is not just raising you, He is raising multitudes through you.
Chosen one, take this in slowly, because what you're about to hear carries the comfort, the fire, and the tenderness of heaven. Melchizedek blesses before God instructs. Before God adds weight to your calling, before He expands your territory, before He hands you the next chapter, He surrounds you with blessing. Not because you earned it, not because you proved yourself, but because Jesus wants you to know who you are before He asks you to step into who you're becoming. Before God gives more commands, He gives more comfort. Before He expands the covenant, He expands your confidence. Before He reveals the next chapter, He reveals His heart. And in Genesis, He does something unusual, unexpected, and deeply prophetic. He sends Melchizedek, a priest and a king, a foreshadowing of Jesus Himself, to meet Abram right after his battle. Abram was exhausted. He was drained. He was probably unsure of what came next. But God knew exactly what his spirit needed: a blessing, a pause, a reminder, a holy moment. Melchizedek stood in front of Abram and declared 3 things heaven wants to say to you right now. You are blessed. I am the possessor of heaven and earth. I delivered your enemies into your hands. Let that settle gently over you like warm oil. You are blessed. Even before the assignment gets bigger, you are blessed. Even before the instructions become clearer, you are blessed. Even before you feel ready, you are blessed. Heaven doesn't wait for perfection to speak identity. Jesus doesn't wait for your understanding to speak affirmation. God blesses first because He knows the human heart needs reassurance before responsibility. You need to feel held before you feel sent. You need to feel seen before you feel stretched. You need to feel loved before you feel led. You need identity before assignment. That's why Jesus approached His disciples with love before leadership. Think about it. Before Peter became a preacher, Jesus washed his feet. Before Mary Magdalene became a witness, Jesus called her by name in the garden. Before Thomas became a believer, Jesus invited him to touch his hands. Before Paul became an apostle, Jesus knocked him to the ground with light, not judgment. Heaven always blesses before it burdens. God knows your heart better than you do. He knows how fragile you can feel. He knows how overwhelmed you can get. He knows how easily discouragement tries to whisper that you are not enough. So He speaks blessing first. He pours identity first. He anchors your heart first. Then comes the assignment. Melchizedek didn't come with instructions. He came with blessing. He didn't come with expectations. He came with affirmation. He didn't come with pressure. He came with peace. It was heaven's way of saying, Abram, before you go any further, I want you to know this wasn't your victory. This was mine. I am the possessor of heaven and earth. I am the one who strengthened you. I am the one who lifted your hand. I am the one who delivered your enemies into your hands. And chosen one, Jesus speaks the same truth over you. Your victories were not luck. Your strength was not random. Your survival was not accidental. Your breakthrough wasn't coincidence. Jesus carried you. Jesus protected you. Jesus opened the door. Jesus held back what tried to harm you. Jesus delivered you from battles you didn't even know you were fighting. Before He asks you to take another step, He wants you to know that heaven is the reason you are still standing. And now, here is the part that touches the deepest places of your heart. Just when the blessing settles, just when Abram breathes in peace, just when everything feels calm, the real test arrives, because not every door is from God, and Abram proves it. Right after Melchizedek blesses him, the king of Sodom comes with an offer, a reward, a shortcut, a partnership that looked good on the outside but carried contamination on the inside. And Abram, now anchored in who he is, says no. Not because he was strong, but because he was secure. Not because he had clarity, but because he had identity. That is why God blessed him first, so he could recognize the counterfeit when it appeared. Jesus will always speak to your identity before he speaks to your direction, because direction without identity leads you into traps, but direction anchored in identity leads you into destiny. When you know who you are, you stop settling for what you are not. When you know you are blessed, you stop chasing what looks shiny. When you know God is your source, you stop accepting offers from Sodom. When you know Jesus is your reward, you stop needing validation from people. The blessing wasn't a bonus, it was protection. It guarded Abram's heart before the test arrived. And beloved, Jesus is doing the same for you. He is blessing you before he stretches you. He is affirming you before he tests you. He is strengthening you before he sends you. He is settling your spirit so you won't be shaken when counterfeit doors, counterfeit friendships, counterfeit opportunities, and counterfeit comforts appear. The blessing is your anchor. The blessing is your shield. The blessing is a reminder that you belong to Jesus and Jesus belongs to you. And when you carry that truth, no king of Sodom, no tempting shortcut, no disguised enemy can pull you off your path. You are blessed before you are instructed. You are affirmed before you are assigned. And because of that, you will walk into the next chapter with clarity, courage, and holy confidence. Jesus goes before you. Jesus stands behind you. Jesus walks beside you, and Jesus strengthens the ground beneath your feet. The blessing has already gone ahead of the calling, and now the next chapter is ready to unfold.
Chosen one, open your heart gently, because this word carries both the weight of heaven and the tenderness of a father who wants to protect your future. Integrity protects destiny, and this truth is not meant to scare you. It is meant to steady you, to comfort you, to guide you back into alignment with God's timing, even in moments where compromise feels easier and shortcuts seem faster. The king of Sodom offered Abram wealth, reward, and recognition. Take the goods for yourself, he said. On the surface, it looked like favor. It looked like blessing. It looked like promotion. But Abram saw something deeper, something invisible to the natural eye. He saw the trap. He saw the spiritual contamination behind the reward. He understood that if he said yes to Sodom's offer, people would say, "I made Abram rich," and that would steal the glory from God. So he refused. He refused shortcuts. He refused dirty alliances. He refused to trade his purity for prosperity. He refused partnerships that had darkness hidden inside them. He refused applause that wasn't aligned with God's timing. And this is where heaven leans close to whisper to your spirit. Not every opportunity is holy. Not every open door is from God. Not every gift comes from a clean source. And sometimes the holiest, most courageous, most destiny-shifting word you will ever speak is a simple, quiet, unshakable no. Because no protects your destiny. No protects your peace. No protects your purpose. No protects your soul. Abram's no was not rejection. It was protection. It was strength. It was clarity. It was discernment. It was a declaration that God alone would write his story. This is where God's timing becomes so important. Because when you are waiting, when you are tired, when you feel delayed, when you wish something would finally happen, that is when counterfeit opportunities show up wearing the costume of blessing. That is when impatience whispers that maybe this is close enough. Maybe this is the best you will get. Maybe this is the door you should take. But chosen one, hear this with love. The enemy always tries to offer you the discount version right before God's timing brings the real thing. Abram had just won a battle. He was vulnerable, tired, stretched, maybe even tempted. That is when Sodom offered him a shortcut. And that is the same strategy the enemy uses today. The counterfeit always comes before the covenant. The distraction always comes before the destiny. The almost right always comes before the God-ordained. That is why integrity matters so deeply. It clears the fog. It protects your discernment. It keeps your spirit sharp and your heart clean. Integrity is not perfection. It is alignment. It is choosing honesty when dishonesty is easier. It is choosing purity when compromise feels tempting. It is choosing God's timing when your flesh wants control. It is choosing character when opportunity knocks too early. It is choosing to wait when God hasn't said move yet. It is choosing to trust that the right door will open at the right time and the right way for the right reason. Look at Joseph. He refused Potiphar's wife. That no protected his future palace. Look at Daniel. He refused to defile himself with the king's food. That no protected his prophetic calling. Look at Jesus. He refused Satan's offer to give him the kingdoms of the world. That no protected the redemption of all humanity. Integrity is not a small thing. It is a spiritual shield. It is a destiny guardrail. It is heaven's mark upon a chosen life. And chosen one, here is your final cliffhanger, the one heaven is pressing into your spirit. What if the next elevation God has for you depends on the integrity you show in the next 24 hours? What if the way you respond to the next temptation, the next decision, the next offer, the next conversation, the next private moment is the very thing heaven is watching, not to judge you, but to promote you, not to punish you, but to protect you, not to limit you, but to launch you. God's timing is perfect, but it often waits on your alignment. Because when you choose integrity, God responds immediately. He moves swiftly. He opens the right door. He shuts the wrong one. He pours favor on your name. He positions you in places you couldn't reach alone. He accelerates what was delayed. He honors the quiet choices no one saw. Heaven always honors integrity, not because God needs your perfection, but because He needs your heart to stay free enough for Him to bless without the blessing breaking you. Abram chose integrity, and right after that moment, God appeared and said, "I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward." It was God's way of saying, because you didn't take their reward, I will become your reward. Because you didn't accept their version of promotion, I will give you mine. Because you waited for my timing, your promise will not be contaminated. And beloved, God is whispering the same promise over you. Your integrity is creating space for a blessing that will have God's fingerprints on every part of it. Stay clean, stay steady, stay aligned. God's timing is preparing something only integrity can carry. Your elevation is closer than you think.
Chosen one, as we close, let this truth settle gently but powerfully into your heart. God Himself becomes your reward. When Abram turned away from the world's riches, heaven stepped in and declared, "I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward." That same promise is hovering over your life right now. If this message awakens something in you, type in the comments, "I choose courage over comfort," as a prophetic declaration of your divine purpose. I want to thank you from the deepest places of my heart for spending this time with Spiritual Journals. Your presence here means more than you know. If this encouraged you, take a moment to like this video to help it reach another chosen one who needs it. And before you leave, subscribe to Spiritual Journals so you never miss a moment of clarity, courage, and divine purpose. And turn on your notifications to stay connected. I pray over you now that God blesses your courage,
strengthens your integrity, guides your obedience, and walks before you in every step. May His presence cover you, His voice lead you, and His favor surround you. Your Abraham moment is unfolding, and heaven is standing with you.